Well, and so the only option now remaining for the 6 senators is to appeal that particular decision at the political parties tribunal, which according to the party's constitution is the final lap for them, if I could call it that. Let's now speak to the Party Secretary-General Raphael Tuju. Thank you, sir, for joining us tonight here on KTN Prime. We have some generalities here: disloyalty, insubordination. But what are some of the specific offences that these 6 senators have committed in line with the party's constitution?
Well, there are 6 different senators, so each of them had different charges. I can't go into details of all of them. Generalities, they have basically violated the party constitution, and there are disciplinary issues that are listed in Article 13 of our constitution. There are about maybe more than 10, a dozen of them, and it's not possible to go through any of them. But if you violate even just one, that's enough to get you out of the party, according to our constitution.
The timing of this for many, and especially your critics, seems very suspect, coming at a time where those allied to Deputy President William Ruto and who are in your party have decried persecution and witch hunt from the party. Is this what's happening?
Let me tell you, one thing is that this is not something that we are doing with glee. These are our members, and we have exercised a lot of patience with them. Some of their cases date back to last year. There's been a lot of patience in the leadership of the party to give them a chance, to reach out to them, to try and ask them to, toe the party line, to support BBI, which is a brainchild of the President and former Prime Minister. And they have constantly gone out making very incendiary statements, being very obnoxious sometimes. And we've been patient, really been patient for close to a year. And they go on and on and on and on. And a time comes when you say enough is enough. So I can tell you that this is not something that we are doing gleefully and that we are enjoying doing it. Not at all. It is with a lot of pain that we have to take this kind of action as a party.
So it is majorly pegged on support or lack of the BBI initiative?
Not really, because the voting on that is still to come at the National Assembly, at the Senate, or at the county assemblies. But they have made some very incendiary remarks along the way, apart from the disciplinary cases that we're facing it. Apart from the disciplinary cases that they faced, they still made some very incendiary remarks that we have on record. Some of them are on tape, some of them on their tweets and on Facebook. And we have, looked at all this, taken the evidence, and today, after discussions, the decision was made that, unfortunately, they have to look elsewhere for nomination.
This decision taken by the party today, and those very critical of some of these decisions have said that the party is laying groundwork for a grand scheme of things in impeaching Deputy President William Ruto, that of course we are reducing his support at the Senate to be able to make this happen at the end. What do you say to that?
There are always conspiracy theories. We've had enough of them from the United States. That's just conspiracy theory.
You treat it as that? Is there an intention? Is there an intention to impeach the Deputy President? Because when you talk about not supporting the BBI and some of these remarks, we are seeing other members doing it. So does this fate await other MPs or members of Jubilee, and of course in extension the Deputy President?
Again, that's speculation. I think I was asked about that. I've been asked about that severally by some of your, sister organizations like your newspaper today. And I've said it's just speculation. There's no time when we have set as a party to discuss the possibility of that kind of impeachment. So there's nothing to discuss there.
So does this same fate await other Jubilee Party members who are not towing the line, so to speak?
As I told you, this is not something that we're doing gleefully. This is something we are doing with a lot of sadness. We want there to be room for everyone in Jubilee. There are many times that even I have disagreed with some of the things that maybe we have decided as a party to do, but there are right channels for doing that. You express your dissatisfaction, you express your disagreement in a civil manner with decorum, and you'll be heard. But when you decide that funerals and other public spaces are the forum in which you attack the Jubilee government and to make very unfortunate remarks even against the president and the first family, I think these guys are stretching it too much.
Right. So this, interestingly, coming at a time when senators in the Jubilee Party have received an invite to a parliamentary group meeting slated for tomorrow. But what's more interesting, that this invite came from the Deputy Majority Whip, Senator Falhada, and not the Majority Whip himself, Uhuru Kenyatta. Is there any particular reason this happened?
I'm not a part of the leadership of the Jubilee Party in the Senate. I received the invitation as well. I'm expected and allowed to attend. I'm an ex-official member of any of the parliamentary group meetings and the county assembly meetings. So I'm expected to attend, and I suspect I should be able to attend tomorrow. As to how those invitations are done, I have nothing at all to do with that.
Who ordinarily, and I'm sorry, I'm still putting it up on that, who ordinarily would send such invites? I mean, I'd imagine you have a know-how on how things happen on that end.
I think there's nothing unusual about the deputy, doing the invite, because she's a member of the leadership of the Senate, as far as Jubilee Party is concerned.
Isaac Mwaura, when appearing, and this is my final question to you, when appearing before the committee, said that he does not expect any fairness, any justice from this particular process. They expect, perhaps they might appeal. Do we expect fairness once that happens? And what's the way forward for this party?
Well, sometimes when you're confronted with facts, and some of these facts are actually backed by video evidence, statements you have made, and you're asked to explain yourself and you become tongue-tied, then you kind of can tell that you have been cornered. So I'm not surprised about those kind of statements.
All right, so who's next on the firing line? Is it Uhuru Kenyatta, considering we haven't seen him send this invite? A lot of speculation. What do we expect?
I wish I could know. I'm not a fortune teller.
We will know that tomorrow. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight. Secretary-General of the Jubilee Party, Raphael Tuju, just speaking to us there, saying that they have been patient with the six for long and they're not doing this gleefully as a party. But let's get a quick reaction with these battles within the Jubilee. I'd like us to take a quick reaction with a Soy Member of Parliament, and that is Caleb Kositan, who's now joining us to react to that. Thank you, sir, for joining us. You've heard what the Secretary-General of the party has to say, so I'll give you a chance to first react to the party's decision and what the SG has said.
Well, I think the SG is being very untruthful about the real situation in Jubilee. I am actually not surprised that that he has said there that the members refuse to support BBI. And in the Jubilee Manifesto, in the Jubilee Constitution, there is nowhere where we say that in the coming years we're going to have BBI, and it was binding on all members to support it. So I think Tuju needs to be truthful and say that the only reason why those members are being expelled or purportedly expelled is just because they have been loyal to the Deputy President. They have decided that they are going to chart a future of the party with those who are like-minded, with leaders who are not inclined to tribes, who are not inclined to insulting others, who are not inclined to being untruthful. They have decided that they will join a team that will portray the face of Kenya and not of the regional faces that we have seen of late being propagated by some party leaders. And it's quite interesting to see that from 2013, when we were in either TNA and URP, there was no there was no expulsion of anybody from any political party. Even Jubilee, for the first term of for the first 1 or 2 years, 2017, 2018, we never saw anything. Immediately after the handshake, then we saw the arrogance build up in Jubilee. We saw the activation, and the only active organ in Jubilee, amongst many organs that are meant to be active in the party, is the disciplinary committee. And it's a very sad situation that Jubilee is busy expelling its members. I'm sure after these expulsions, they will have nobody else to expel. And Wilkisa is very sad and very unfortunate that nominated members of parliament who are nominated to represent special interest. Okay. If you look at those who are being expelled now, they are nominated to represent the gender issues, and Honorable Isaac Mwaura, who is to represent people with disabilities. Right. It is actually not fair when we treat people who are to represent a certain gender or a certain vulnerable group in society to such shenanigans like the Jubilee is treating them to.
The SG speaks to what it terms as incendiary remarks that made consistently by some of these members and who have been expelled from the party. In all fairness, do you think this is justified, given that the party has decided it is taking one direction and half of it is pulling on the other direction? In all fairness, what would you do in that situation if you were them?
The biggest problem with the Jubilee is it has become a private members club, whereby it is okay for you to say this, and it is not okay for me to say exactly the same thing in a different platform. One example is a minor commander, for example, is on record as having said the Deputy President will not be there in 2022. He has called the Deputy President names. The Deputy President of this party, the Deputy President who all in Kenya know how much effort he put in the re-election of the President Uhuru Kenyatta, and in the second, after the nullification of the election, we all know how many meetings the Deputy President attended to campaign for President Uhuru Kenyatta and the sacrifices he made. But members of Jubilee, a nominated member of parliament like Minor Commander, was in Kibra campaigning for an ODM candidate. But no single action has been taken against him because he is speaking, or he's on the right side of the Jubilee, or the so-called deep state. Right. If it was any of these members who are being expelled now that was in Kibra, they would have been expelled a long time ago. But that is such is what Jubilee has become, and this is how KANU started its route to becoming a very tiny little party, in a key player, in a little player in Kenyan politics, because they started by chasing out everybody until they had nobody to chase. So that's the route that Jubilee seems to be taking.
What would be the next course of actions for your friends? Seem to be on the same faction of the Jubilee party. Are you going to support them to appeal this decision? What next?
Yes, of course. Tomorrow we will be appealing this decision by Jubilee party, and we will explore all the legal channels so as to ensure that they get fairness, they get justice. And we ask of the Jubilee party, those who are now running the Jubilee party, to exercise some tolerance. We also stomach a lot of verbal language from people who are in the so-called handshake team. And we don't react. We take it with a stride, and we know that it's politics. And let's have good manners in the politics of Kenya. As a Jubilee party, I think Jubilee party is on its way down.
There's a parliamentary group meeting called for tomorrow for senators. Your thoughts on that? There's been a lot of speculation about what would likely be the agenda for this meeting. How do those in your faction feel about this meeting?
Well, I think the menu is one. Jubilee never holds any PG meetings without expulsion and suspension and the sacking of its members, loyal members, is on the menu. So I think on the menu is Senator Kangata. I'm sure it will be a very brief meeting to replace him with whoever they will nominate. They actually want another yes man. And Kangata's only mistake is pointing out the truths and the actual truth from the people on the ground to the president by a letter. I don't think Kenyatta has committed any crime. He spoke the truth to the president, but there seems nobody wants to listen to the truth. So the president wants to be told what he wants to hear. And so I think Kenyatta is definitely on the menu for tomorrow's PG.
Finally, before I let you go, even as we wait for the outcomes tomorrow, my last question to you. We are seeing a lot of members, especially allied to the Deputy President, pledge allegiance to this new party, the UDA. I don't know whether it's right to call it new. So then you are constantly disgruntled in this Jubilee party. You're constantly disgruntled with this one umbrella within which you all live in. Why not leave?
Well, I think that your question, why not leave? We've already left. It's just that we haven't left on pen and paper. I have written a letter today to reduce my subscription to Jubilee from 10,000 shillings a month to 500. We have formed an association we are calling Kazi ni Kazi, where we will channel the funds that we've been contributing to Jubilee to that foundation, whereby we will use that funds to empower the less vulnerable in society. And I think it's a matter of time between us and Jubilee. We are no longer, personally, I am no longer in that political party. I am waiting for the day that I will register as a member of UDA. And for whatever seat I will run in the next election, I will not run under Jubilee, because Jubilee is now a dead party.
So then why not live with finality on pen and paper and go back to your voters for re-election?
Well, Kitsa, you have to think about the state of the economy now. We have very serious issues. We have a debt ceiling that is choking our economy. We have the COVID-19 situation that is here with us, the pandemic. And we are over 150 members of parliament who would have to resign from Jubilee. So that will, 1 year to another general election, I don't think it would be wise. It is a known fact that we have left Jubilee. So I think it's just for them to start operating knowing that we are no longer members of Jubilee, and they will then have to agree. And with Kisa, I need to say this before we finish. It is very sad to be a nominated member of parliament, because there is nothing they can do to me. I was elected by the people of Soy. The only people who can impeach me are the people, or remove me from office, are the people of Soy. But Jubilee is misusing the fact that they had the power to nominate these members of parliament. And we hope that the courts, we hope that the political parties tribunal will give them justice, so that justice is served to these members of parliament who are very loyal. They sacrifice a lot for the Jubilee party, and most of them are our dear sisters who are representing the gender in parliament, and they are very good legislators, they are very good debaters, they are very good parliamentarians. We hope that they will get justice elsewhere, because they can't definitely get it in Jubilee.
All right, thank you very much. I'd have to end it at that point, but thank you very much, Caleb Kositani, for joining us. You've baptized me a new name tonight. The name is Akisa Wandera. Thank you for joining us for this conversation. I'd like us now to take a short commercial break. I'm seeing a lot of your comments on this. We'll take sampling a number when we get back. But when we get back from the break, something that the MP has alluded to, the battles within the Jubilee party going a notch higher, with members now asking for their deduction.